The urban myth goes like this: farm life is simple living. Jim Johnson is a member of Grace Lutheran Church in Knoxville, Illinois. According to Jim, agribusiness is not simple. High-tech GPS-equipped combines, volatile fuel, fertilizer, and grain prices have modern farmers like Jim performing a juggling act. Helping to feed the world adds meaning to Jim's life. He shares the workload with neighbors, lives within his means, and has a strong faith in God, in times of abundance and in times of want. Yet, Jim struggles with what it means to have faith in God and live simply.
I'm a farmer. I farm, I sell seed, do a little custom work for other farmers. When my wife teaches school, and that's pretty much what we do. Wheat's kind of a crop that can deteriorate pretty quick. We had some cool weather in the spring, so everything's kind of set back a little bit. We had a lot of wet weather, but it's ready now. And if you don't get it now and get a couple rains on it or something, it can be a real problem. You start losing test weight, you get a lot of dock. When you're farming, it's not you don't have any money coming in, but you have a lot of bills to pay and bank notes to pay back and things that you've borrowed for expenses, and then if you don't have a very good crop, then it doesn't make a lot of difference what the price per bushel is. If you don't have anything to sell, you're not going to have any money. Well, I think when they go good, you need to realize that maybe they won't down the road in a year or two, so you don't get too wild. You don't go out and spend a bunch of money just betting on the fact that you think it might continue to be good. So you don't spend money you don't have yet. You don't want to skimp on fertilizer or seed or things that will cost you in the long run, but you can watch some costs and do some things that make it a little easier to survive. It's all about raising a good crop and being able to sell it and make a profit. And Tom and I share our workload in the spring, and we're both laid back enough that it works out. No, we're not hyper, and we don't have to have everything our way all the time, so it works out pretty well. But you've got to be able to give and take and do a little of those things, and what you get out of it is obviously we can keep our expenses down a little bit more on the business side of things, but it gives you a relationship with somebody that you kind of watch who you partner with. I'm not going to be in a partnership with somebody that I don't trust or we don't get along, but it works well for us. Simplicity would be great, but I don't see how that I can do that and compete with the way we need to do things now. Simplicity means, to me, that go back to simpler times and you spend less money and don't spend as much on your crop and live simpler, but we don't live in that kind of a world now, so we kind of have to adapt, I think. And simplicity to me, means less stress. Well, so maybe you don't buy as many things as you think you have to have, and don't borrow as much money, and don't have the stress of having to worry about how to pay it back. And we don't live simply. We have all the toys and gadgets and all the things. But when my wife and I first got married, and when we had little kids, and I still remember when we go to church on Sunday, we were struggling to make ends meet, and I had to check my wallet to see if I had $10 to go out to lunch at McDonald's after church. If you're lucky and you're a farmer, maybe you have 40 crops, I don't see how you could be a farmer and not believe in God. You've got to have faith to do this. You've got to have, if you go out and plant those seeds in the ground, you got to realize that there's a bigger force than just you and me that we need to depend on, and I don't think without God, we can't do this.